The Indian public sector plays a key role in driving nation's economy. It is not only promoting indigenous produce, but it is also pushing the growth of in-house technologies and leading India to become a self-reliant and a future-ready economy. Hi, I'm Adarsh Som from ETGovernment, and today on this occasion of Public Sector Day, we are here for a special episode of Public Sector Leadership Series. For this, I have an esteemed guest today, and he's Sri Atul Sobti, the Director General for Scope. So, in this episode today, we'll take a deep dive in looking at the growth journey of PSUs in India and how Scope is basically building capacities and helping these PSUs to achieve operational excellence. A very warm welcome, Atulji, to this exclusive interaction with ET Government at our Public Sector Leadership Series.
Thank you, Adarsh. It is a privilege and pleasure for me.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your time and joining us here. Sir, I want to first understand, what is the growth trajectory of public sector undertakings in India? How is it contributing to the bigger economy? And secondly, I would like to understand the role of Scope in enabling PSUs and empowering them.
Very good point, Adarsh, which you have made. Scope, Standing Conference of Public Enterprises, is an apex body of all the public sector enterprises in the country and enables them to provide a conducive and cohesive business environment and help them in promoting excellence in their performance. Coming to the public sector enterprises, as you know that public sector enterprises were set up for socio-economic development of the country, primarily with the objective of import substitution, market stabilization, price stabilization, regional developments, employment generation, a role which was well played by them. Today we have close to 272 operating public sector undertaking, and during the last decades after the independence, they played a major role, not only in the socio-economic development of the country, but also commercially also. Financial prudence they have proved. Just to quote some figures, today these public sector enterprises, they have a revenue of close to 36 lakh crores, almost 425 billion US dollar. And just to give you the enormity of the operations this is more than the GDP of Hong Kong and almost equivalent to the GDP of Singapore. I mean, that kind of operations are there. Another myth I would like to make here about the public sector, 78% of the public sectors are profit making and giving close to 3.22 lakh crores of the profitability. Coming to the corporate social responsibility, every year they are investing close to 5,000 crores in the corporate social responsibility. They employ almost 1.5 million direct workers, besides so many indirect workers. Many areas, strategic areas, they are contributing for the growth of the country. So, they have played a very important role. Coming to even the market capitalization in the share market, about 66 companies shares are traded in the market, and their which is equivalent to almost 1 to 2% of the total listed companies, but the market capitalization is almost 10% of the total market. This is very important figure which I am telling you, and in the 1 year period the market capitalization has gone up by almost 121%. So, that is the contribution they are making. Having said that, Scope in fact is playing a major role in basically I will say in 4 areas: policy and advocacy, skill enrichment, then capacity development, research and studies, beside that the brand building of the public sector enterprises. In all these areas, we have taken a series of steps, and in the recent past, I am very happy to share, Scope is a well-known body nationally and internationally. Yeah, if I like to add here, few initiatives which we have taken in the recent past is, in the area of the skill enrichment, we have done a study along with the international labor organizations, where we have in fact found out where the skill gaps
and we are working very closely with the various enterprises how the skill gap has to be bridged. We are going to work with the ILO again for the just transition, because you know that we are operating in hard to abate factors. So we have to switch over to the green energy. So naturally, there are going to be very important transition which is going to be there. We need to prepare them. One area which we are working is the development of new leadership. Future fluent leadership is a very important project which we have undertaken. I like to explain that we are calling it Daksh, and in fact, it has already been finalized along with the capacity building commission, which is in fact a government of India organization which is used for even training of the various civil servants also. So we are working with them, and yeah, first batch is has been launched with McKinsey and IIM Ahmedabad. So in addition to that, we are doing a lot of work in the areas of climate change, women empowerment, and number of research works have also been done in that area. Point is, we are represented not only nationally in various, for example, I am on the board of the EPFU, various committees, ESI, board of the ESI and the various committee, then the Tobanti Workers Education Board, National Productivity Council, National Safety Council. Important thing which has happened is that recently I have been elected as a titular or main member of the governing body of International Labour Organization. There are 14 titular members of the 187 countries. It's a matter of pride for the public sector, because I am the fourth Indian who has been elected at a position. So we are representing public sectors in international organizations like ILO, OECD, United Nations, International Organization of Compliance, and so on.
Congratulations, sir. Firstly, for being elected as one of the governing members, in the ILO, the International Labour Organization, and as you just mentioned that you are among those 4 Indians who've been elected in the governing body. So it's definitely a matter of pride for us, And then to talking to you to get your insights on the public sector of India. Now, sir, moving ahead, as you mentioned, you've given some interesting numbers where you mentioned that how 78% of our public sector organizations are profitable. So it definitely busts the myth that a lot of people are, have this conception that public sector organizations are actually loss-making companies and they're not adding that great value to the economy. So thank you for busting that myth. Also, the number, it was a very interesting analogy that you said that it's greater than the
Hong Kong.
GDP of Hong Kong, and it
Equivalent
is
to almost
equivalent to
versus
the,
Singapore. Yeah.
yes, GDP of Singapore. That's really interesting fact. Now, sir, moving ahead, you have shared some initiatives by Scope. I would like to understand, is Scope also taking some initiatives to digitally transform the role of PSUs and further enhance their digital presence and improve their operational excellence?
Yes, that's a very important area. Uh, Having served the public sector enterprises for almost 3.5 decades, uh, I'll say that digitally, most of the companies in the public sectors are quite advanced. I'll not say equivalent to the Western countries or USA or so, but they are quite advanced as compared to the peers in the other sectors. But having said that, lot more needs to be done. I know the things are changing, artificial intelligence is coming, machine learning is coming, so many things are coming. So we are working very closely with the public sector enterprises. We have formed a board level committee on the digital transformation. That's a very interesting thing, who are working very closely with the public sector. Second aspect which we are doing is, we have entered into an MOU with the IMT Hyderabad for conducting a study on the digital transformation in various organizations. That study is almost complete. We will be launching in a month or so. So that will be sharing with all the enterprises also, that what more needs to be done. This is the second thing. Third aspect is, we are conducting many capacity development, capacity building programs in the digital transformation area. And my vision is that more and more programs will be introduced, especially now the what do you call artificial intelligence is coming in a big way. We cannot wish away. There was a time when we were saying that this will take away the jobs, etc. No, the point is that we have to be ready. and I am confident the kind of qualified people in the public sector, the kind of knowledge base they have, they can do this thing, and they will be what you call definitely align themselves to the global needs.
Well, I agree that we cannot run away from the newer technologies like AI or ML. This is not the future. This is already in the present,
Already there.
right? And we are further moving ahead with even advanced technologies.
Yeah.
So the only thing that's left with us is to build our capacities, to
Yes.
retrain ourselves, to upskill ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think Scope is also running such programs, as you just mentioned that you're running capacity building programs. Also, sir, you just mentioned that you are about to share a study where you will be, putting up areas of improvement for the public sector in India. Can you give us a little glimpses of what are some of those areas, some key focus areas, at least three, four, where public sector needs to work really?
That's a very interesting point you made. One area which I feel is the creation of the pool for the future fluent leaders. That's a very, very important subject which I am touching. Because what happens, we need to create those leaders who can take the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister and the need of the country forward. Uh, Today, from we started from fragile 5 economies in the world, and today we are the fifth largest economy in the world, and we are going to emerge as the third largest economy in the future. Honorable Prime Minister has already mentioned that by 2047 we want to become the Viksit Bharat, a developed country. So these leaders have to play a major role. So this was one thing which we thought. So we conducted a study. Study means first we discussed with the various organizations also. There was a study which was conducted with the multinational consulting organizations. Then we found that we need to have a long-term course for these people. So what we did, we joined hands with the Capacity Building Commission, who are conducting a Karam Yogi programs also, and from last 1.5 years we are working very closely with them. Now this course has been announced, which is called Daksh, and there are 60 to 80 what you call participants are going to be there in the first batch. And as I mentioned that we are going to have with the first batches will be the McKinsey and IIM Ahmedabad, and 21st it's going to be inaugurated now. Already candidates nominations are there, and it will be 9 months program. And they will be, so we will first, you mentioned that what areas need to be addressed. So this is first area which need to be addressed, for which we are working. Second area which needs to be addressed is we need to prepare ourselves for energy transition, or just transition which I mentioned. Because what happens, we are working in, I'm talking of the public sector enterprises in hard to abate sectors. That's, that's the requirement, whether it's the energy, whether it's the coal sector, mining sector, and sooner or later, maybe at present there is slightly slowdown, but I firmly believe in next 20 to 30 years period, there are going to be issues with these hard to abate sectors. I mean, we were thinking that it will be faster, but slightly delayed now, but it's going to happen. So we need to prepare this organization. We need to prepare the employees. We need to prepare the society. For that, what we have done? We have done, I'm talking about scope. For the climate action, we have entered in collaboration or agreement with the GAZ Germany. Very important aspect we are doing. We are training the public sector enterprises. Regional workshop, a series of regional workshops have been conducted across the country, and there is co-benefit methodologies have been explained to the people. We have started a certification program, advanced certification program in the climate action, and we are taking very senior level what you call participants to Germany to visit various government organizations, various industries in the climate action. My vision is that climate action is going to be the future, and we are having a dedicated vertical there. That is the second thing. Third point I like to mention that after the study is the women empowerment. Women empowerment is going to be the key thing if you want to reap the benefits of the total what you call gender equity, and we have many more people to contribute to the country's economy growth. So we have a women in public sector we call it WIPs under the aegis of scope. In addition to that, we have conducted two big studies with international labor organizations, which were very well received across the globe, not only in India, across the globe. So, lot of work is, because what happens in the public sectors, uh, still I feel the manpower, what do you call, women manpower is still not at the level which we like to have it. But things are changing. Now almost, if I share the figures with you, already what do you call, around 25 uh, women executives are there who on the board of the public sector enterprises. So, we are doing lot of courses in the women empowerment. This is another area you mentioned. Fourth, as I talked about the digitalization, we have conducted a study also. This is an area which much more needs to be done, especially in the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so many other things. In that area, we are going to start a series of programs along with the various institutes, technical institutes also, and we will be working in that. I believe, in addition to that, that the key thing is for not only for the public sector enterprises, for anybody in the country, a country which has the youth population with the median age of only 27, but the window of this youth population is very small. It's only 30 years. In 30 years, we have to make benefit of this. We have to make this country the Viksit Bharat, and during these 30 what do you call years, we have to do skilling, reskilling, upskilling, and in that area we are working a lot. Lot of programs are being organized. Like I'll tell you, in International Labour Organization, one concept which is being talked is lifelong learning. Lifelong learning concept has to be there in India also. What happens that people join the organization, after that say, "ठीक है भाई, we have joined now, now no need of doing the upskilling." But I tell you, the people who don't do the upskilling, they will be left behind, which is happening now, So, these are few areas which I have just mentioned, where we are working also and which is required.
Sir, I feel, addressing challenges or addressing the problem is the first step towards solving those issues and moving ahead. So I think the way you mentioned the challenges, the way you address those gaps that we have in a public sector, and how Scope is coming up to address those challenges, be it a training program, be it WIPs, which is a very appreciable initiative, women in public sector, right, or be it their capacity building programs for upskilling their the workforce in advanced technologies, be it AI or ML. I think all those initiatives will work out really well. That's what we hope, and we also want to see our public sector grow further. Now, again, another thing that I would like to underline, that you said that the vision that our Prime Minister have, the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, and we only have 30 years to achieve that. It's a very small, time frame, as you mentioned. So, how do you see, is our public sector on track? Are we there, or do we still need to push harder?
Okay, that's a very interesting point. In fact, on this area, we have in scope also, we had done a lot of brainstorming. Public sector, as mentioned, they are contributing close to 12 to 14% of the GDP. They are in the strategic sectors, whether defense sector, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's energy sector, you name the sector, strategic sector, they are there. I believe that this country has to become Viksit Bharat by 2047. Public sectors have to play a major role, very major role. Because I tell you, in one of the conference, one of a dignitary mentioned that India, that world cannot do without India, and India cannot do without public sector. That's the reality. So, point which I am going to make is that for this, what you call, making the country Viksit Bharat, we are ready, public sectors are ready to contribute, especially in the strategic sector. I am not talking of the other sector, strategic sector. Uh, for that, something more needs to be done. These organizations also. First, I'll talk about, for example, in defense area. Defense area, now there are 21 defense PSUs. There is a 47% growth in the exports, the push which is being given for the exports. They are capable. I have visited many defense organizations, worked very closely with them, and they are capable of meeting any global standards. So, this is a sector which is going to be given a lot of push, but the areas where this organizations, public sector undertaking have to take lead is, first is the innovation. Innovation is going to be, innovation includes the R&D also. You know that I'll just share some very interesting figures with you. The countries which are growing, they are investing 3 to 5% of their GDPs. Israel is the biggest spender of what you call R&D. China is also one of the 2.5% or so. USA 3.5%, Japan also 3%, but India R&D spending is less than 1%, because normally we spend in the applied research, not in the basic research. But public sectors, many of the public sectors, including my previous organization BHEL, we are spending close to 2 to 10% of the revenue. I feel that they need to give greater push to this also further, not only few organizations spending more, because they can lead the show. India has to be innovative, and like in the manufacturing, if India has to become the Viksit Bharat, I firmly believe that our manufacturing has to go, and today there are opportunity also. We need to grow from the 12 to 13 or 14% to 25%. But this manufacturing has to be value added. Value addition will come from the innovation only. So, they will have to lead. Second area which I feel, today is the time for collaborate and coexist. Basically, public sector and private sector will have to work together. I am talking about the Viksit Bharat dream which I am talking. We beside working in the self-reliant area, a lot of work is being done. I am sure that profitability will keep on growing, but we have to work together. We have to work together, because what will happen? It will give scale of innovation. It will give, together we will be able to address the market requirements overseas also. We can compete here, but we can join hands. We can do lot of research work together. Lot of things can be done together. This is the second thing which I like to tell you. When you talked about the role, I'll again go back. You know that public sector, what do you call, turnover has grown by 50% in the last 5 years. Profit has grown by the 150%. So, you can see the effect which is going to be there in the next 30 years also. So, second point I mentioned that. Third point is cooperate with each other. We need to share the best practices among all the corporate sector. This is going to be very, very important thing where we have to work. Fourth point I will come back to, which I mentioned earlier also, skilling, reskilling, upskilling. That's going to be the key thing. If we have to make use of that window which is available, the youngest nation of the world, and for that, in fact, I am very happy that Government of India in the last budget had introduced the apprenticeship concept. In the apprenticeship area, public sectors are playing a major role. I know what you call, when I was BHEL, I got the award for the apprenticeship from Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, the kind of work which is being done by the public sector. So, they have to take lead in the skilling, reskilling, upskilling, not only of the public sector employees. I am saying the total society, we have to work in that direction. So, these are the few areas mentioned. And another thing is, it's one thing is for becoming Viksit Bharat, it is not only that GDP has to grow. We have to play lot of role in the society development also, which I mentioned that in CSR we are spending close to 5,000 crores per year. So, balance regional development has to take place. We have to work in the education area, we have to work in the health area. Just one point I would like to mention, that during the COVID period, these public sectors, they came forward when nobody was coming forward. Their hospitals were utilized, their community centers were utilized, their doctors were utilized, their nurses were utilized, paramedical staff were utilized. When the oxygen was not available, I know from SAIL, BHEL, they converted their industrial gas production to the what do you call for this use, medical use. So, these are and some other areas where public sector have to perform so that the socio-economic development of the country take place and we reach. I am confident that we can become the Viksit Bharat by 2047 and will help honorable, we will try to realize the dream of our honorable Prime Minister.
It's really great to see that enthusiasm, that confidence that you have, that we will definitely, and definitely
We will.
we will achieve. Why will we not? As you mentioned, I would like to echo that statement, that public sector not only has to work on their workforce, not only has to develop their workforce and their operational excellence, but they also have to further improve towards the development of the society. And India as a whole, I mean, as a society, as a community, has to grow further to actually become the Viksit Bharat. And another thing I would like to underline is, you mentioned that value addition comes from innovation. I think this is the key point which is a takeaway for me also. So moving on, today we celebrate Public Sector Day. Today it's 10th April. I would like to understand why 10th April. I mean, why this particular date has been chosen to be the Public Sector Day.
That's a very interesting point you raised, very close to my heart. Scope came into being 52 years back. We have already completed 5 decades, and the day of inception was 10th April. So that's the reason it was decided that one day has to be there when we celebrate. I call it Utsav. There has to be celebration. That's very, very important. Why celebration? The point is, we need to see what kind of the contribution public sectors are making. They have made and they will continue to make. This is the people should take pride in that. One thing is, employees should also take pride in that, society should take pride in that, nations should take pride in that the kind of contribution public sectors have given. So this basic, and the kind of hard work they have done, people have done a lot of hard work. And I tell you, the regional development which has taken place, geographical development which has taken place, public sectors have played a major role. So there has to be one day when we remember the contribution of the public sector, their employees, so that they also take a pride in this, and that's the reason we use it not only for remembering that what has been done, we use it for creating a what you call celebration also. I mean, we invite the families, that family should also join, so that they feel some kind of encouragement also. In addition to that, future what needs to be done, that also is going to be what you call, people discuss what more needs to be done. I'll tell you what, after I came to school, we thought, let's not restrict it to one day only. We decided to have a week-long celebration or even month-long. Total April can be there. We keep on celebrating. A celebration on one day, sometimes it becomes an issue. Last year we had a series of functions. This year, I am telling you, this year, because knowledge and knowledge sharing and the capacity development is going to be the key things. I told you, this is the requirement. First thing, there are 2 MOUs will be signed, or during the month of April there will be 2 MOUs. First will be with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for in the respective area. Second is with the Harvard Business School Publishing House, a subsidiary of Harvard Business School, for the lifelong learning concept which we are doing. These are the 2 areas signing of MOU will take place. Another thing is Daksh, which I told you, which is a dream project we are having along with the Capacity Building Commission. On this month, we are going to launch that, inaugurate that, and very high dignitaries are going to be there. Let the confirmation come, you will also know that, and that's going to be there. Then we have created a Scope Social Interaction Center, where the Scope senior official can sit together, discuss what needs to be done for the public sector, and that has been set up in our Scope complex, and I'm sure that the new initiative which will come forward. This is in addition to the celebrations. Utsav has to be there for the employees and with their families, whether the past, present or future also, because youngsters are there, they have to join public sectors and contribute to the development of the country.
I agree, sir. The young workforce should join the public sector, contribute to the growth trajectory of our nation and the economy. Also, you rightly said that if it's an Utsav and where we are celebrating our growth, why not we should celebrate it for longer period of time? Why to restrict it for just one day? And I'd like to congratulate you in advance for the MOUs that you will be signing in, and also hope you, wish you all the very best for the function that you will be having, the launch of Daksh Yojana by the scope. So, sir, thank you for sharing all those knowledge. It has been a wonderful interview till now. Know a lot of insights from you, and how the PSU has been performing, how they're developing the economy, what are the steps being taken to upscale and upskill our workforce in the PSUs. Now, sir, to end this conversation, I wanted to understand the future perspective of Scope. So, what is Scope looking forward to in terms of further enabling the PSUs? What is your future plans for Scope?
Basically, to carry forward the initiative which are already undertaken, uh, create a very conducive and cohesive environment, business environment for the public sector enterprises, and be the effective policy advocacy body for them, for all the decision makers, the policy makers, policy influencers, effective representation of employers in the national and the international forum. This we are going to continue. And another thing is that more and more relevant capacity building programs to be initiated in the organization. Number of research work need to be done, and then another thing which for example we are working very closely with the media also, creating a brand of public sector. Basically, that's a very important thing. Creating a brand of public sector is very important. People tend to forget the kind of work they have done. We need to all the time, it should resonate in the mind of what you call all the country. I'll just mention it. We also do have the Scope Eminence Award, which has been instituted, which are given by Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable President, or Honorable Vice President. Last time it was given by the Honorable Vice President. He said that public sectors are spine of the country, and you are the spinal strength. That's always keep on resonating in my mind and gives me goosebumps also. The kind of statement which we made in the Vigyan Bhavan, that's the reality. So, we need to carry forward, for example, recognizing the performance of the public sector, and in addition to that, I feel we need to prepare many of these organizations to become the global organization, taking them to the global platform, spending a lot in the innovation area. We will be working very closely with them, and position Scope as an impactful, inspiring organization, employer organization, nationally, internationally, and I believe there is always lot of scope for Scope.
That's a really interesting statement, sir. And it's been really amazing to, talking to you and getting to know all those insights and knowledge about the public sector and, of course, the initiatives by the Scope. Thank you for sparing your time and joining us.
Thank you, Adarsh. Thank you. It was
Thank
pleasure
you.
being with you.
Thank you.